Okay, so this is the second video for the workbook Moon Wisdom, which if you haven't purchased yet, you can get at wildmoonsacredcycles.com/moon or /shop. So by this point, you have done all of your new moon ceremonies, your new moon exercises, setting your intentions, figuring out which ones were goals, which ones were wishes, and which ones were intentions. So now, as we move into the waxing crescent, we get to dig a little bit deeper into that. So the waxing crescent is the second phase of the moon cycle, and it's also the second phase of the waxing half of the cycle. And so the waxing half, the first half, is always the most exciting half. Every single phase, whether it's a mid or a quarter or a half, it holds its own energy, it holds its own type of excitement. The waxing crescent, I think, is the most exciting. There's the full moon, which is the most intense, but intense and exciting can be a little bit different. So for the waxing crescent, this is a lot of people's very favorite. This is the favorite of everyone's moon phases for the most part, even without knowing why. And the reason for that is that the waxing crescent is when we start to plan. It's when we start to look up our resources and gather them and write things down. Oh, I could go to this school, I could take this online course, or I could contact this person, or I could apply for this job, or I could get this piece of equipment or this software, or whatever it is. There's so many different things depending on what your new moon wishes, intentions, and goals are. So I think it's the most exciting part is to plan what you're going to do, but not do it yet. Doing it and committing to it is in the first quarter, and that is a really, really scary part of the cycle. That's the first super scary part of the cycle. Up until then, and right now, we're just in the exciting part. We're in the exciting part where we get to dream, and we get to think, and we get to visualize and imagine. And so in your waxing crescent, zoning in on that again, this is a really exciting time where we are going to gather our resources. So you're going to start figuring out what school you can go to, what online course, what books you need to buy, what softwares you might need to get, what equipment, accessories, whatever it is, depending on what yours is. So this is the time where you plan to spend the money, or you plan to make the equipment, or you plan to, and you figure out exactly where it is that you're going to get those resources from, where exactly it is you're going to find that information that's going to be able to support you to move to the next step. So like I said, this is just a planning phase. So we dream it all up in our new moon. We get really clear on what our core values are, what it is that we're truly wanting in our lives for ourselves. And then in this phase, this is when we start to make lists and we start to look things up. We spend a lot of time on the computer. We spend time looking through the phone book. We start asking other people, oh, where did you do this? Or how did you get this education? Or how did you get this job? Or how did you move forward with this? Where did you get that bank loan? Stuff like that. So this is where we start gathering all of that. So we're gonna start gathering and developing all of our resources. And so every single phase is a affirmation, a reaffirmation to your commitment, to your goals and your intentions. And so it's really important, and part of the reason that I make these videos and part of the reason that I make these books is it's important to stay on it. If you dream it all up and then say, oh, well, next month when I have more time or whatever, then I'm going to start planning for it, you're going to forget by then. You're going to have a different set of goals by then. The commitment is to stay with it, stay within the cycle, and work through each phase and keep moving forward towards it, even if it's just one tiny little thing. Let's say you just have one goal that you want to accomplish, then each phase should only ask for a little something small from you, a little tiny bit of planning, a little tiny bit of looking something up. So it shouldn't be super heavy. So you also need to decide how much time do you have to commit to this. And commitment is a huge part of it. If you don't commit to this now, you might never really commit to it. So you need to decide, do I have time to take on 3 goals? 3 big goals, 3 medium-sized goals, 3 small goals? What is it? Like, how much time do I actually have? And you need to be honest with yourself. If you don't have the time or if you have a huge history of procrastination and quitting, then maybe just take on something really small for your first moon cycle. This process never gets old. It works again and again and again, and every single month a new cycle is beginning. So you don't need to worry about, I need to get everything done this cycle. No, you don't. You have so much time. You have so many cycles. The most precious gift that you can give yourself is to not overwhelm yourself. So take some time and think about everything that you came up with on the new moon and what you want to move forward. What are you prioritizing? What is most pertinent right now to move forward with this moon cycle? And then start to gather and develop those resources. Those are honestly the biggest parts of the waxing crescent, is making sure that you're not biting off more than you can chew, being aware of your own time restrictions and also your past habitual nature, whether that is procrastination, because when we procrastinate, when we feel overwhelmed, when we feel like we don't want to do something. And so the way that we can kind of move around that is by not taking on so much, not overwhelming yourself, not packing your agenda full, not trying to be like, oh, tomorrow's the day and I'm just going to change my life completely overnight and I'm suddenly going to become this person that just stays on top of everything and moves forward and commits to everything. Honestly, that's super great if that's going to happen to you, but honestly, that's not going to happen for most of us, and that's okay. Small changes are lasting. Consistency is important. Consistency is the top characteristic that you want to integrate into your life, is to be consistent. And so think about how much you want to take on with this waxing crescent, and if you feel inclined, feel free to send me what it is that you're taking on for this moon cycle and just say, hey Alicia, you offered this on your video. I just wanted to send you an email and say, here's what I'm doing. And maybe I'm going to hold you accountable to that. Maybe in a month from then, I'm going to just check in and just say, hey, how did that all go? So if you feel like that might be helpful for you, I'd be happy to be that person for you. So in the workbook, we have questions for a waxing crescent. And so that takes you through kind of a process of research, finding resources, and then planning, and then giving yourself extra time for those plans, breaking down your intentions and goals, and into separate categories so you can figure out what you need to do for each instead of just trying to put it all into one big list. Let's split it up into smaller lists, easier chunks to bite off of. Then we have the head, heart, gut technique. I'm not going to go into this too much, but please know that this is an extremely excellent technique to integrate into your life, into your everyday life. It helps you check in with the head, the heart, and the gut, because each section of your body has something very different to say. And the head is where the ego sits, is where the monkey brain sits, the one that doesn't want you to take any risks, doesn't want you to move forward with things, wants to procrastinate and just stay safe and secure in your little nest. And the heart and the gut are going to help you move outside of that. So when we start to hear these different messages coming from our body, we need to learn to separate those voices and figure out where those messages are coming from and which ones we should listen to and which ones we should not listen to. So that's a very amazing technique that I was taught through my mindfulness training, and I found extremely powerful. And then let's move forward from that. And so that's pretty much it for the waxing crescent. We have the questions, a little bit of a plan, and then we go into the head, heart, gut technique. And so have a lot of fun with this. Research too much, like make tons of lists, make tons of notes, get all your books and all your pens out, and just go at it, and then start to break it down. Don't withhold yourself at this point. Just allow all of your creative thought to come out, all of your ambitiousness to come out. And like I said, at every point in the game, kind of think about, is this something that I want to move forward with this moon cycle, or is this something that I maybe want to move forward with the next one? And maybe I should write myself a note for the next moon cycle or the next moon cycle after that. You can accomplish so much in a month with a program like this, with a process like this, more than you could accomplish in a year. And the reason for that is because it asks and demands commitment, and to continuously be moving forward every few days with your intentions and goals. So honestly, you can accomplish anything, and you can accomplish it so quickly if you stay on track, and that is what this is meant to do. So the first quarter, we're moving into a waxing crescent right now, and then in 3 days, we're going to start moving into a first quarter. So you can expect the next video then. I hope your moon cycle is going fantastically so far. Let me know if you have any thoughts, questions at all, or if you'd like to share anything with me, share your intentions or your goals, bounce a couple of ideas off me, whatever it is that you'd like to do. So thank you so much for joining me for this series, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.